Saw Patrol, the lobotomized younger cousin to Barbenheimer. It seems like Hollywood always learns the wrong lesson from something successful, so the fact that they were going to force two more polar opposite counter-programming movies together into another viral double feature was inevitable. But this one is just bizarre. In one corner, you've got the 10th installment of the popular blood drive franchise that went from intriguing methodical horror thriller to straight-up torture porn with a laughably convoluted timeline. And in the other corner is the sequel to a movie made for toddlers about talking dogs who drive armored vehicles around and help people. It's a match made in heaven. I don't know, at least with Barbenheimer there was some audience overlap there. I don't know how many people going to see Saw X are going to unironically go and watch Paw Patrol 2. And on the flip side, the parents taking their kids to Paw Patrol aren't going to turn around and be like, "Come on, little Johnny, let's go watch a guy getting his eyeballs sucked out." Barbie and Oppenheimer also complemented each other financially. Lionsgate switched Saw's release date so it wouldn't have to compete with the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. But whoever made that decision must have forgot that the previous Saw movie made less money than the previous Paw Patrol movie. Keep in mind, this was when the pandemic was still technically going on. Paw Patrol had a simultaneous theatrical and streaming release, while Spiral played exclusively in theaters, and Paw Patrol still made more money. Anyway, enough rambling. If they want to try and force these movies together, then I guess I have no choice but to review them together. Starting off with Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie. As the title suggests, this is the sequel to the Paw Patrol movie and centers around a meteor crashing down at Adventure City and giving the dogs superpowers. If you saw my 10-minute shitpost review of the first movie where I spent the first 2 minutes making fun of the people who called the show racist, the consensus we came to was that it was perfectly fine for its target audience, but didn't have much going for it beyond that. And that's basically how I felt about this movie. I'll say the story felt a lot more cohesive in this one. Whereas the first felt like 3 episodes loosely stitched together, this one felt like a complete story with the beginning, middle, and end. The animation was bright and colorful and better than what you'd see on TV, but still a few steps down from what could be classed as theater quality. The humor was pretty much what you'd expect. Mayor Humdinger continues to unironically be the funniest character in these movies, and I hope they keep him around for a while. A lot of the comedy came from me and my girlfriend riffing to ourselves, but there were a few genuinely chuckle-worthy moments, as well as some surprising tongue-in-cheek jabs at themselves. Other than that, it was pretty inoffensive and standard. If you're a parent with young kids, you'll be fine sitting through this, and your kids were going to have a good time. If you're not taking your kids and you're not seeing it for a meme, then probably skip it. 3 out of 5. Now for the fun one, Saw X. This has been my most anticipated movie of the year for the last couple months, for all the wrong reasons. In case you haven't seen my videos, the Saw franchise is my favorite horror franchise and my favorite guilty pleasure of all time. The first film is a genuinely tense movie with really interesting ideas, and the sequels range anywhere from bad to hilarious. But the one thing all of them have in common is they are immensely entertaining, and this one was no different. The story is set between Saw 1 and 2, which is the first time a film in this series outright reveals where its place in the timeline is. John Kramer, in a desperate attempt to cure his cancer, takes a recommendation for a miracle treatment in Mexico. But when it turns out to be a scam, he kidnaps the people involved and puts them through a game of redemption. This feels very much like Back to Basic Saw, which it should considering they have Kevin Gruder back directing and editing this film. The trap scenes are just as chaotic as ever, with brutal ingenuity, plenty of over-the-top gore, and that classic fast-paced editing style. Unfortunately, one of the biggest issues I had with this movie was the pacing. With the previous ones, it constantly bounces back and forth between the victims in the games and the detectives investigating, so the story is constantly on the move. But with this one, because it's a much more personal game, we spend the first third of the movie setting up John's relationship with this scam clinic, and then the rest of the movie is the game. The trap scenes keep me invested, but there are a lot of long stretches in between where not much happens. I do like with this angle that it does kind of develop John's moral code. Like, he actually does care about his victims and is rooting for them. And that plays a bit into Amanda's character in this. In Saw 3, she was just kind of nuts, and she still keeps a lot of those qualities. But we also see her former player mindset come out as she reassures the people in the traps to play by the rules and everything will be fine. And Shawnee Smith does a really solid job in this, even if the wig they have her wearing does make her look a bit like Will Byers. With how straightforward and linear this movie is with its structure, I was kind of waiting for the big oh shit moment where they pull the rug out from under you and hit you with a ridiculous twist. And that wasn't really the case with this one. When the Charlie Clouser theme kicked in, it kind of caught me off guard. I was like, wait, are we here already? The whole ending just felt very abrupt and kind of underwhelming. The mid-credit scene, however, 100% made up for that. On the quality scale, ranked among the rest of the Saw films, this is probably one of the better ones in my opinion. It's still got plenty of stupid things in it, but it had enough in it to make me glad I saw it. Can't wait for the next one. 3.5 out of 5. And that does it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you've done the Saw Patrol double feature. Which did you see first? Which did you like more? And what's a weird double feature you'd like to see? Let me know all that down below and look forward to more videos coming soon.